my whole life choosing my words, staying silent in order to not trigger her and not have her blow up in her emotions, in my dad too. And I'm not doing that anymore. We're all grown.
Many of us, this generation of mine, are starting to sever or really limit the relationships we have with toxic family members and toxic parents.
They were parentified, they were spouseified, they constantly had to help parents through their addictions. They constantly had to protect, they had to constantly walk on eggshell because they never knew when their parents were going to be dysregulated.
Now that I got a kid, it makes even less sense, but why the f was y'all whooping y'all children for spilling stuff on accident?
I didn't even know how to calm myself down.
Yep, but I would just give you one look and you'd stop doing what you were doing.
You know what else I did?
You need to handle your own before you bring a child into the world.
Only your children can tell you whether or not you're a good parent because only your children are on the receiving end of your parenting.
Y'all are hearing, oh, they're trying to make me do things I don't want to do. They want me to kiss their butt.
She makes the room and the entire experience about her feelings while constantly dismissing yours and your experiences.
I'm really obsessed with public perception. I want everyone to think that I'm the perfect mom.
Pain travels through families until someone is ready to feel it. For many of us, our generational curse is avoidance. We come from people who just act like it didn't happen. And as we all know...
Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm the eldest Gen Z. Something that's on my mind today is family. Family looks very different for a lot of people, and family changes across our lifetime. Who's in our family, what the dynamics of the family look like, all sorts of things.
Our families expect us to not change, right? But then when you do start changing and evolving, that can then trigger them too.
Being a child of someone as an adult, having a relationship with your parents and your caregivers as an adult, and the difficulties with that.
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Sonny, I did it. You did what? I made the glass tip over.
Oh, sweetheart. The idea is, once you learn that every teacher becomes a student if you're actively growing, you can see the relationship with your children as a learning experience, not if you're emotionally immature. You're only hearing through your triggers.
I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, that it's not linear. Life is not linear. Feelings are not linear. Decisions are not always linear. Relationships are certainly not linear. And being on that journey in a healthy way can feel really difficult. Growth is challenging.
In fact, anything to do with me that you're careless with, you won't have the same level of access to it. And before you get mad, take a moment to just think very carefully about the detailed journey that we took to get here.
People who avoid their own feelings will neglect yours.
This person pretty much said that our primary love language is a trauma response to compensate for the love we wish we received growing up. So yes, our primary love language as adults could be what we desire to have growing up, but it's more commonly to re-experience the type of love we had. Our brain always chooses what it's used to. Even if deep down inside you want something else, if you don't consciously pay attention and work towards obtaining something different, by default, you will attract the same thing. This is called trauma reenactment or repetition compulsion.
Trying to navigate what feels best. Set boundaries, for example. Overcome traumas. And heal, do all sorts of things related to mental health, self-awareness, safety, self-love, what I would consider to be positive things.
No, I will not be with somebody who doesn't want to heal and work on themselves because I'm reparenting myself. No, I will not waste time arguing with a family member who doesn't understand the basics of humanity and empathy because I am reparenting myself. No, I do not have space for your toxicity. I am reparenting myself.
As we all get older, we grow, hopefully, and gain insights, hopefully. And there really is something to that frontal cortex. For me, it has meant a lot of awareness has come. A lot of lessons have been learned and recognized. And does that mean perfection? Of course not. For anybody. We're all on a journey. And family is a part of that journey.
Parent, child, grandchild. Growing up, this was the power dynamic. I buy all your clothes. I decide what you're going to wear. I pay for all your activities, so I decide what you're going to do. Child has become an adult and went, hey, we're equals now. Because now I have money to buy my groceries and decide what I eat. And I have money now to buy my own clothes. You could tell me your preferences. You no longer have a say over me of what I do. And then we add in this grandchild aspect, right? The child has say over the grandchild. You guys have the same level of respect. You guys are equals. You can have that contact and give your suggestions. On the other hand, keep going. I need to be up here and I need to be over you and therefore over my grandchild. And so your child finally went, hey, if you can't stay here, you need to go all the way over there.
In the romantic relationship and in the family, there's a sense that you are being dominated over. In the family, it's that the family can behave in whatever way they want, and that we would have loyalty to the family, that we would not say that those things are happening. All that we're saying is, if you would like to have a human relationship with me, there are some ground rules for relating. There is a baseline of equality. Nobody dominates over the other person, has control over the other person, or gets to delegate what the relationship is. Each person is approaching the relationship from joy and the genuine interest. There is a mutual sense of reality.
I was saying to someone recently, we were joking, was it a mistake going to therapy and like taking these band-aids off and opening these wounds? But ultimately, no. I think it's for the best in the long run, because the wounds are there regardless. Like, think about when you get a paper cut and your cells in your finger, they just know to heal. They do the work. They sense that there's a wound there, and then over time gets better. And I have to think about my mental health that way, that when I sense that something is going on and I feel something, then I have to acknowledge it. I have to investigate it, and doing that work of feeling it and digging into it.
It's not your fault. You were never supposed to be your parent's parent. The child, when they go into their adult years, as they grow into their adult years, they carry the loss of not having those things. Don't get me wrong, bringing a child into this world, it naturally and inadvertently heals your wounds from time to time. But it was not your responsibility to take on that role of a healer, of a confidant, of a teacher, of a parent as a child. That was not your role. And you're going to have to work through those stages of grief to understand why you're grieving, because it's probably that little child in you that's still grieving.
And the biggest challenge for me is when I identify a pattern of something that I don't want to continue emulating. I don't want to repeat. Okay, so I see this thing between me and X person or Y person in my family, and it's like, okay, I recognize this. Now what do I do about it? But I don't know how to say that to them. Like, that's really, all of these types of conversations are really challenging. And it's part of growing. The challenge is, what did they say? You gotta cut the grass to smell the lawnmower. I don't know, something like that.
I told my mom that I didn't want to do something that she suggested, and guess what my dad texted me? When mom gives you a suggestion, just say yes, or maybe later. No, I don't want to do that is a trigger for her. If somebody tells you, no, I don't want to do that, you take it as a, no, I don't want to do that. So I said to him, no, if I feel uncomfortable doing something, I'm not going to do it or say, okay, maybe later, for the sake of her getting triggered.
I don't think most adult children are asking for perfection. We just want our parents to validate our experience. Acknowledge the trauma and pain you caused your children despite thinking that you were doing your best.
Yeah, just you have to get through the hard time to get to the better time. And for some people, that means taking a break.
If someone's absence brings you peace, that's a win.
That is the result of trying to make the relationship work. The no contact is the end of something. It's not the beginning of something. Typically, adult children that have gone no contact with their parents, that wasn't their first plan of action. They tried for probably many years to make the relationship with their mom or dad work. True healing between two people cannot happen if only one person is acknowledging the trauma. And then even once the trauma is acknowledged, there needs to be a change in behavior.
Everybody is responsible for their own healing, and we are coming into a culture and a time where healing is necessary for human relating.
To be in a scenario where you're needing to consider that is in itself difficult, big. It's a big thing to be considering, and it's hard to voice. If you are considering a scenario where needing more space from people that at once upon a time you didn't feel like you needed space from, you're not alone in that.
I'll never risk the healed version of me for the fairy tale version of us.
Hello? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts. Where are you right now on your journey? I feel like with these sunglasses, I'm trying to channel like my inner Khadijah.